Hey guys, Allison here. What I want to talk about today is committing to heal when your problems are not your fault. You know, when we make mistakes, when we do stupid things, we commit sins or whatever it is, it's easy for us to realize, okay, my fault, I need to make some changes. But when our problems are not our own fault, let's say we've been victimized, maybe we had a neglectful or abusive parents, an abusive spouse, maybe we've been the victim of a crime. Too often, people get stuck in their healing because they're waiting for the other person to change or take responsibility or apologize, and we don't realize we have made a decision not to heal until they do that. So I want to use this analogy. Imagine if you were riding your bike along the road and somebody runs you off the road. Maybe they didn't even see you there, and you wind up in a ditch on the side of the road and nobody can see you and your leg is broken. What are you going to do? You're going to have to drag yourself to the side of the road and flag down help. Now, imagine if you dug your heels in and you said, I'm not doing that. Let the person who ran me off the road get me help. Now, maybe they don't know you're there. Maybe they didn't even realize what they did. Maybe they don't care. But the bottom line is you're the only one who can help yourself now by pulling yourself to the side of the road. So maybe you go that far. You find yourself in therapy. But now they set your leg and you got to go to physical therapy. And imagine if you dug your heels in and said, I'm not doing physical therapy. That's a lot of work. It's going to be very painful. Let the guy who hit me do the physical therapy. Now, of course, that's obviously illogical, right? But we do that when it comes to emotional wounds and emotional injuries. We dig our heels in sometimes and don't allow ourselves to heal because we want an apology. We want somebody to take responsibility. We want somebody to change, whatever it is. And we may be very justified. That person may be very, very wrong. But we're holding ourselves hostage to them. And we've got to be really cognizant of that and think about ourselves and how we can find healing despite that. You know, God never allows anything bad unless He intends to bring a greater good of it. And sometimes He does that, and many times He does that with injustice. We can look at the cross. Greatest injustice, we killed God on a cross. Greatest thing that ever happened because He redeemed us that way. And He works the same way in our lives. So it's really important that we take some time and think about that. You can commit to heal even if your problems are not your fault, even if somebody never changes, never repents, never apologizes. The bottom line is we need to forgive from our heart. And we hear this all the time, but think about that. When we forgive, we are relinquishing our right to restitution. We're setting ourselves free. Now, there's a difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. We don't reconcile unless the person has taken responsibility and made changes, especially, let's say, if it's an abusive person. We don't have to reconcile. Jesus tells us to forgive. But if we look to the story of the prodigal son, he comes back totally repentant after squandering his father's wealth. And what does he say? I am no longer worthy to be called your son. I have sinned against heaven. I've sinned against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Hire me as one of your hired servants. And we know the father's response. He embraces him and takes him back. He's very happy. He'd been looking for him. But that's really key, and I see that a lot in relationships. It's not enough to just come back and apologize. We need to actually see somebody take responsibility when they've done something bad to us. So I would always tell you to forgive, not always to reconcile. That's something you need to sometimes work out with a therapist or with somebody who can help you to discern that. Now, if you find yourself getting stuck, you may need to talk to somebody, and I would recommend CatholicTherapist.com because we've got the greatest therapists listed there who are grounded in the faith and grounded in this whole view of forgiveness, and also that can help you to rally the power of the sacraments and prayer. Jesus tells us to pray for our enemies, even though they don't deserve it, right? Because that's what's going to set you free. So check out CatholicTherapist.com. Find somebody in your area or find somebody who'll work with you online. I hope you find that helpful. May God bless you. Make sure you like and share the video, and please hit the subscribe button. God bless.